All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Glad you're here. Let's get everything rolling. Let me adjust the volume. Okay, I think we're in business. And welcome. Happy Sunday. It is, what is today? The 4th month of the year, April 26, 2020. Where I'm at, it's a little bit rainy today. And just checking some notifications just got. So here we are. Boom. All right, so there's a few different things I want to present today, and I'm going to shift the order of what we're talking about. And so what we are talking about ultimately is the big elephant in the room. And but I want to give a different perspective. I want to reverse engineer this. I want to flip this around where I talk about the actual viral, what is a virus. I want to dive into that today at the very end. And today's going to be a quick one. We're going about an hour today. That's the plan. I want to keep this thing tight. And if you really want this information, by all means, go to the link in the Facebook group, get signed up. I am behind. I'll be open and honest with that. I am behind getting all the material out. There's a ton of amazing projects that are happening that are just getting put together. It seems like all the pieces just fell into place. Many of the pieces fell into place this past week, so I'm super excited and really wanting to go with all that. And what you want to see about all that is drg.com. drkeving.com, drkeving.com. And I can see on the bottom it's scrolling 4 Foundations. In fact, 4 Foundations is a open and free accountability group about self-nurture, self-care, self-love. So I'll promo that real quick. And then let me see here what else I got for you. Oh, the color's not right. So let me just flip that over. I'm getting oriented all the time. There's so much fluctuation. I wanted to bring so much information today. I was really behind the ball. If you don't know, I pretty much do this off the cuff. This is truly live. And yes, I prepare. I've been preparing for this for 20 years, so to speak. And to bring about the connections, that's my best. I'm doing my best attempt to do that. And where can I improve is being much more prepared. Now, this is the last video. This is the last live in the series of, I think this is the 5th or 6th one that we're done. This is going to be just a mini course, so to speak. A mini crash course in some topics. And some of the videos I've shown are no longer available or very difficult to find. So that's very interesting news to me that it's being more and more difficult to actually share information that is, if you look at what is the scientific method, oh my goodness, sometimes I wanted to search, I want to do a search with you while we're watching, and I'm also looking at this one camera, the thing is getting in the way of my view of everything. Ooh, there it is. Oh, I just found it, just like that. Perfect. Okay, so let's dive in. All right, so let's get rid of this infographic, and I want to show you this video. And I'm going to start with this video. And I'm going to start more broadly. In fact, I'm going to give you that view right there. I'm going to take out the text to stop the distraction. And this is where everything starts in my mind. It all starts right here. Oh, let's hope it's the right one. I think it is.
So much of what we do in our personal lives and at the office is the result of the paradigms we hold. And what we do, in turn, affects the results we get.
Thanks for coming to the meeting today, everyone.
The word paradigm comes from the Greek root paradigma, meaning pattern. The pattern we expect to see, or the mental image of the way things are. We see everything through the perspective of our own paradigm. If you see your industry as one where growth is impossible, how does that affect what you do every day?
And I'll pause. translate that last analogy to what you think about your health, what you think about reality, what you think about viruses. Where did you learn your thoughts about those things?
What results do you think you'll get from your actions? On the other hand, suppose you saw...
Let's back it up a few minutes, because I interrupted. Let's back it up a few minutes.
Where growth is
Excuse me. Let's back it up a few minutes, and I challenge you to consider your health and what causes, what you believe to cause, or what you believe to turn on health and well-being in your life. All right, let's continue. So I backed it up a few seconds. Here we go.
Possible, how does that affect what you do every day? And what results do you think you'll get from your actions? On the other hand, suppose you saw unlimited prospects for growth in your industry. How would that change your actions?
How would your thoughts shift your ability to heal, to be resilient, to rejuvenate yourself if your precepts, your concepts were different? Stephen Covey poses a wise view.
Of our own paradigm. If you see your industry as one where growth is impossible, how does that affect what you do every day? And what results do you think you'll get from your actions? On the other hand, suppose you saw unlimited prospects for growth in your industry. How would that change your actions? What we see, our paradigms, determine what we do, which in turn determines what we get. And unless we consciously stand apart from and examine our paradigms, we might never see that perhaps many of them are distorted, short-sighted, or just flat out wrong. I remember a mini paradigm shift I experienced one Sunday morning on a subway in New York City. People were sitting very quietly, some reading, some resting with their eyes closed. Suddenly, a man and his children entered the subway car. The children ran yelling through the car, throwing things, grabbing people's newspapers. Their father sat down near me and closed his eyes and did nothing. I felt irritated. I could not believe he would let his children run wild like that. After a few minutes of patience and restraint, I turned to him and said, "Sir, your children are really disturbing a lot of people. I wonder if you could control them just a little more."
Yeah, you're right. I should do something. Well, we just came from the hospital where their mother died about an hour ago, and I guess they don't know how to handle it. Yes, I don't know how to handle it.
Can you imagine how I felt at that moment? My paradigm shifted. Suddenly I saw things differently. And because I saw differently, I thought differently. I felt differently. I acted differently. My irritation vanished. Compassion flowed freely. I wanted to help instead of criticizing and complaining. Once you see things as they really are, you'll think, feel, and act differently. And you'll do it automatically, spontaneously. Can you see why paradigms...
So let's pause that video right there. You can see how paradigms are extremely important. So I'm hoping you're wondering why we're talking about this. So let's continue to talk about why that's important, why our paradigm about what it is to be human is important, why the paradigm of what is going on in our world right now is important. And it's much, much, much bigger than you think. Bear with me, please. if you're willing to have an open mind, if you're just tuning in, by the way, if you're tuning in, say hello, say, let me know where you're from, give a thumbs up if you found some value about that first segment with the paradigms. And if you're just tuning in, thank you for tuning in, spending a moment of your day, a moment of your precious time with me today. I really honor and really am thankful for that. And the point being is, what we're doing today is about opening up the eyes to what it is to be human itself and what is going on in the cosmos and the planet itself. And we can't predict where it's going to end up. However, I want you to understand, this is something I want. I want people to understand that they are electrical beings and our Earth, electromagnetic beings, and our Earth is also electromagnetic, and we are going through something that is changing, and it affects the human psyche, it affects the human consciousness. So let's digress, and I wanted to, I have so many tabs open, excuse me. I wanted to show you just a headline of one article. I was doing a search, and it was quite beautiful. I'm looking for it right now. And okay, so let's get into, hopefully you're on board with the idea. Hopefully you can understand the idea that the sun affects life. We have the sunshine in the springtime. When there's more light, there's longer days, we have growth. And when the sun gets shorter, we have a decrease in sunlight, a decrease in amount of hours, the intensity, everything about it. There is a cycle where it's a renewal cycle, so we call that death. Right? That's the yin and the yang, left and right, up and down, in and out, man and wife, a human, human physical and spirit. So that being said, there's something about the Earth itself that's going through a change. And there's a step I'm missing. I apologize. I'm not locating it. But it has to do with something what's called the Schumann resonance. All right, I'm gonna. This is not what I'm looking for, but I'm gonna flash this image because it just has a nice graphic right there. And this is about an app, but it's about Schumann resonance. And behind it, you're seeing an image of the Schumann resonance. So let me pull up a different window. I'll pull myself back, say hello. And let me check in on the chat. Oh my goodness, it's up. Let me pull it out. Let me say if you're getting some hellos, you're getting some, let me know where you're at in the world. That'd be really cool. And as you can see, we're 100% live. In fact, why we're 100% live, let's turn on a little music. Keep the entertainment flowing at least a little bit. I'm in New Jersey. Where are you? Oh, where are you? You got to remember to use a different keyboard. Just, if I use the wrong keyboard, I'm getting buttons popped up. We're getting a view switched. All right. And so one of the important things that I ask you as a favor to me, if you're on board right now, if you've heard a little bit of value at all, give a thumbs up, give a comment. That opens up the algorithms and let other people in on this chat. And that's really helpful. It's really appreciated. And what that does, though, it allows me, my attempt to help provide stability and calmness and peace of mind in the state of chaos, in the state of transition. How does one maintain balance? And that's what today's all about, is having some knowledge. A little bit of knowledge goes a long way, and I'm looking for, I got virology stuff up. I got cosmic stuff going on. I thought I had the website up with the current statistics, with it's an hour by hour, minute by minute tracking of this resonance that's going on in our reality. And I apologize for not like I said, I got a lot of things happening, and as far as how many tabs I got open, and so I might just have to take a course correction and go with what I can find. And oftentimes that is the best way to go. Let's go. I'm just gonna pull it up right now. In fact, I'm gonna pull you up on the search myself. So I'm in Bing. You can't. You know what? I might even go save the other primary search engine that's out there. I cannot get accurate results anymore. So take what you will there. Excuse me. So live data, Schumann resonance. Let's see what comes up. Now, HeartMath, by the way, they're phenomenal. This is one of the things, techniques. There's an organization of nonprofit scientists, I believe nonprofit, but teaching people how to synchronize the heart rate, heart rhythms, excuse me, with the brain rhythms to create what's called coherence in the human body. And you know, I guess that's not live right there. All right, we need to talk about these heart rhythms, real-time data. Let's take this look at this search, see what this pops up. I'm looking for like a .gov, and there was a page. I could not find it. You know, this. Man, there's only so many hours in the world, right? Let's see what this one does. That's real sad. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just having a tough time with that for whatever reason. I was so pleased to be talking about the Schumann resonance. So, perceptions. I got all kinds of fun things up for you. But we're going to go right here, Dr. Bruce Lipton. Well, a fan favorite, one of my favorites. If you don't know who Bruce Lipton is, well, you've missed out on a lot of science. In fact, you've heard of the genetic project, the genome project. Well, he was one of the scientists, researchers, that one of the primary, if I could be mistaken, but if not the primary researcher on that project. But again, I need to be corrected on that one. Well, let's take a look what he has to say concerning stuff like this. And here we go. Turn this off. Turn the video on. Bring that in. Now, I wanted to show that video because he talked about allopathic versus holistic. So what is allopathic? That is your mainstream medical care model. You've probably been in it your whole life. In fact, generations of your family have probably been in it that way your whole life. And that's why I started with the video about perceptions, because our perceptions about who we are as a human being, what it is to be healthy, how does one get healthy, where does one go to do and follow through with activities and therapies that result in greater health. Well, frankly, that's not the case anymore. And so we're going to go back to the electrical being conversation in just a moment. I mentioned the Schumann resonance. We're going to get to that in just a moment, but we're going to keep on the energy of what Dr. Bruce Lipton just said, and we're going to shift to Dr. James Chestnut. Now, he has not put a video out on YouTube in about 3 years. And then I just checked him because I like his paradigm is phenomenal. If you don't know who Dr. James Chestnut is, you got to dive into who he is, where he comes from, his research, how he, his education, lineage, all that stuff. And it's interesting. I have some very wonderful people in my practice, and some of them have a paradigm that it has escaped them when I present information like this. It's extremely obvious. So if the premise you base your expectations on is false, incomplete, it's impossible to see the accurate answer. So this is why I started with the video about perception. And now let's dive into Dr. James Chestnut. And we'll go about the 25-second mark here. Let's back it up. All right, right there, 15.
Which is understanding the real pandemic behind this current COVID-19 pandemic. And what we have to understand, one of the most important things to understand, is that the virus is the same no matter who gets infected. But the difference in outcomes is enormous. And so the variable that must be determining the outcome can't be the virus, because the virus is a constant in terms of that outcome. It's the same for everybody. The thing that is different, obviously, is something that's been dear to my heart for 20 years and something I've been warning about and preaching about for 20 years. And that is, it's the baseline health status, which is basically synonymous with baseline immune status of the people who get infected. So this is a book I wrote, my second book, but this book I wrote in 2017. And it really just talks about how lifestyle illness, the pandemic of lifestyle illness, is the real issue. And so when you think about this pandemic, it's really a pandemic of immunocompromised human beings. The pandemic is caused by the people who get the sickest, not by the people who get infected. And we know that it's a very tiny percentage of the people who get infected that end up with really serious illness or who die. That's a tragedy. There's no doubt about it. We're not going to fix that acute crisis with lifestyle. But I hope this is a wake-up moment for all of us about just the importance of baseline health and just how horrific our current healthcare system is at improving baseline health. So I just want to read you. First of all, I just want to show you this book I published back in 2017, and it's the sort of cumulative effect of 20 years of research on my part. But chapter 1 is literally the chronic illness pandemic. And so I just want to read you a little bit from a little section in that first chapter under subtitled The Chronic Illness Plague. The Black Plague killed 30% of medieval Europe. The chronic illness pandemic, what I call the chronic illness plague, is killing 80% of the modern industrial world. Humans living in industrial habitats represent the sickest children, teenagers, adults, and elderly in the history of not just the human species, but in any species. 50% of the entire industrial population suffers with at least one chronic illness, and 55% have developed 2 or more. By the way, I just read this morning, 15% of adults in the United States have 5 or more chronic illnesses. 3 million people have COPD alone. Chronic illness is by far the leading cause of suffering and early death, and the chronic illness plague represents the single greatest threat to our health, our happiness, and our quality of life. Modern
The mic was down. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm looking for the video. I'm going to be pulling something up. Man, all that thing, everything I just said was squashed. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. And so you caught what Dr. James Chestnut was saying there about the human, the pandemic of health. And why is that important in today's environment, what's going on in the world? We know the big V word, so to speak, is, and we talked about the chronic nature of our healthcare system that is breaking, and I'm talking the mainstream systems that you all grew up with. And why is, well, excuse me, hold on one second. Wow. Okay, you heard a little preview of the first couple seconds of the next video. And so the reason this is important, all the things that Dr. Chestnut talked about, the toxicity, and then therefore what's going on with our healthcare system, and then why our paradigm needs to shift about our food system, our healthcare, our mental wellness, all these things, because these things that are stressing and polluting us are perhaps, I'm going to say that word perhaps to keep myself, what's called CYA, cover my ass, cover your own ass, is this. I hope you're ready. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. And I titled this. It's brief. I just cut a couple clips up, put them in there. These videos have been deleted as far as I can find. Actually, I did find one of the place today.
Of making a video on. One of the more controversial things he stipulated was the notion that all parasites, bacteria and viruses are in fact beneficial to people's health. However, for the sake of this video being simple and easy to understand, I'm only going to be focusing on the latter. In relation to the topic of viruses, Vonderplanitz claimed that the only way to get a so-called virus was to be injected with it. It's understood that all viruses are non-living, dead protein structures. Arginus's theory was that they are all naturally occurring in the body and perform a special role of being able to dissolve toxic or dead tissue from the body in order to heal.
How many people know that viruses aren't alive? It's been known in the medical profession for years that you don't give antibiotics for a virus because they're ineffectual, because they're not alive. They have no nucleus. They are protein parts. There's no respiration. There's no functionality. There's no glandular activity. They are not alive. But what are they? They are soaps. They are solvents. The body makes them to dissolve tissue in your body that are too toxic for the parasites, the bacteria, and the fungus to eat. Too toxic, like when I had chemo, radiation. Parasite, bacteria, fungus tried to eat into that dead tissue, they were killed because they were poisoned to death from that tissue. So what's all this contagious bullcrap about virus? That's like saying laundry soap is contagious. Well, it's in every home, and everybody uses it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or between 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Most housewives and people do their laundry. So it must be contagious, because it's always happening about the same time. That's when colds and flus happen. They happen seasonally for a reason. There are 300,000 varieties of virus. Each one of them takes just a little particle of a cell at a time and disassembles it. And the pharmaceutical industry says, see, it dissolves the cell. No, it's dissolving a specific tissue in that cell, so specific that it can never damage the integrity of that cell. Unless you have many viruses happening at one time because of a highly toxic polluted cell from industrial pollution. And it's usually from the medical profession that happens. But usually 1, 2 viruses are occurring all at one time.
And I want to add in now the agricultural community, now the petrochemical community, Even the electronics community, look, I'm using electronics right now. However, there's a lot of toxic substances that a human body has to interact with. And how much of a toxic load can a human body handle before there's a breakdown, before there's a diagnosable situation? Let's continue. That button's not working right now.
Only once in a lot of people. So, one person gets, the flu, then the next person gets the flu, and Joe Blow across town's got it, and all of a sudden, all these people start cropping up, and they say it's contagious. That's like saying the first rooster that starts crowing toward the sun is contagious to all the other roosters, because they get up and crow too, Viruses are not contagious.
I've had quite a few questions over the last few weeks, so I'm making this for my friends to clear a few things up. First and foremost, something you should know, you cannot catch a virus. And why can't you catch a virus? Because it's impossible. So why is it impossible to catch a virus?
Question.
A virus is alive. Is a virus a living thing?
No.
So how is it that people think that you can catch something that is not alive?
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
Now, I know a lot of people are genuinely concerned, so that's why I'm making this, to hopefully cure some of the unnecessary fear and stress. And if you are feeling that, it's because you're causing it for yourself. And just so you don't think I'm sitting here making stuff up, I'll quickly tell you my background so you know how and why I'm telling you these things. I was one of those kids that could read and write before I even started school. I knew my 1 to 12 times table before other kids even knew how to open a book. I won academic scholarships at 2 expensive private schools. I did 6 years of science, which included medicine. I did 6 years of natural health and medicine. And I spent 3 years solely looking into the nature of viruses, bacteria, protozoans, fungus, and parasites. And as a practitioner, I treated myself and a number of other people successfully long-term for conditions of the same. And when I did my last IQ and aptitude test, I was taken into a separate room and I was interrogated to see if I cheated. And more than anything, unlike Google and Facebook, I don't have vested financial interest dictating what I can say, and I don't have shares in vaccine companies. So what is a virus anyway? Well, a virus is nothing more than a solvent, and these solvents are created within the cells of the body. This is why you cannot catch a virus. Viruses are created cellularly. Now, the body can create hundreds of thousands of different viruses at any time. So why does a cell need to create a virus or a solvent? Created in response to the built-up toxicity that we have in our bodies. So how does a cell become toxic? Well, a lot of people have spent a number of years putting shit in their minds and shit in their body. A lot of people think that it's just totally fine to eat supermarket food, you microwave it, just get flu shots injected into you every year, just drink your tap water. People that go after organic food are tinfoil hat wearing boogers. The thing is that nature doesn't care what you believe. You can believe that any of those things are true, but nature doesn't care what you believe.
All right, we're back. How's that? All right, perfect. So there's a couple professionals for you offering a different perspective on viruses. It's perhaps where there's a symbiotic relationship with there. So let's consider a few other things. But let me see if I can get what I really wanted to get to here. And when I was closing out the videos that I don't want to show anymore, I have less tags up. All right. All right. So where I started this conversation out today was about changing perceptions. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for spending a little bit of your time with me, precious time. I know there's a lot going on. And so where we're shifting now is more about the electrical nature of life. Human body, electromagnetic. You go MRI, that's magnetic resonance imaging. You get the EKG, the EEG, electroencephalogram, the brain, electrocardiogram, the heart, and they're measuring these different waves of electricity. You've all heard of brain waves, alpha, beta, theta, delta, gamma. Here's what I was looking for. Now this is one of the things. It's not the site I want though. All right, let's go right here. This is a nice introductory article. And we bring it to the middle. That way we go. Oh, that's not the way. All right, so you can get right in there. me line up the edges. And let's see, we'll zoom out a little bit so we can get a little bit more in there. That looks pretty good. All right, thanks for staying. This is real live, ladies and gentlemen. This is raw and uncut. And so we are going to make sure the volume, let's see here, turn this music down a little bit. Let's get into this article. And by the way, if you're getting some value out of this at any point, thumbs up, please. That opens the door for other people to see this video and see this thing and share it around. You know, one person that's interested in stuff like this. Now, the Schumann resonance, what is this? All right. And it's affecting the human body. Earth is a living being, and everything that exists originates in it. Okay, that's a big opening statement. However, let's just continue. I will say that Earth is a living being. And the Schumann resonance, let's go down there. Humans have I gotta turn this off. Humans have this own bioenergetic field. Okay, so if you do a quick search, all right, you type in biofield. All right, you start getting images like this. You know, that's because basically holistic health practitioners are the ones who talk about this. And these are doctors, these are general public that have gotten some type of certification. And let's see, here's a look at the biofield anatomy map. It's an artist rendition. What if we can get some photography of this? Biofield photography. All right. Here we go. So there's a study called the Kirlian photography. You can see the energy from plants. It looks like a piece of broccoli, the energy coming off of it. Of course, there's a human body on the left and the right, but those are artistic expressions. Here is an actual photo. Let's see, get that right in the middle there. This is a nice photo of this bioenergetic field. And you can see these different points. Well, do you call these the chakra system? That's a good picture. I like that. And so this is another one. This is the Taurus field. Let's see, you got any more great ones? This is another one you see classically in technology that was reading the biofield, and this would be before and after different types of therapies. You'd see this would be the before care, this would be the after care, and it may be one session, it could be a dozen sessions, however long the trial was. However, these are images I've seen left and right over the years about the human biofield, and the human biofield plays with. Check. I think we're still going. And plays with the mind, body, spirit, and soul. All the layers that we are integrated, and so we have this energetic biofield. And of course we look at vibration and frequency, amplitude, magnitude. Now I'm not going to read that. So what I was looking for was the real-time data. Now this one's a Bioregulatory Medicine Institute. Now I'm not going to read that. So I looked up what causes changes in the Schumann resonance. And of course, well, not of course, but what I found was lightning. Now I can't see this whole page for whatever reason. There it goes. So it talks about lightning, and then I then did what a 3-year-old would do and go, well, what causes lightning? So these lightning strikes affect this vibration of the planet called the Schumann resonance, and there's a known effect from the Schumann resonance on the human bioregulation, meaning life, the human life regulation, how one regulates one's life. And so this Schumann resonance, this is a good definition, are quasi-standing electromagnetic waves that exist in the cavity, the space, between the surface of the Earth and the ionosphere. In 1952, the German physicist Professor Winfried Otto Schumann of the Technical Institute of Munich began attempting to answer whether the Earth itself had a frequency, also known as a pulse. This is the main key, a pulse. Understand that analogy. So it exists. We're measuring it. This is a heart method institute. You can click on these. Let's see if we have live links. So let's see where this link goes. You're here live. Let's tune in. Let's see where it goes. Now maybe I just need more access, and I'm not there. Oh, here it is. You have to dig. You got to dig. All right, we're going to live data. See if it gives me anything. I'm not getting anything I like yet. Don't you just love it? All right, let's go right here. Now that's the app. That's not what I'm looking for. Oh my goodness. I've been trying to show this Schumann resonance all day long. And so, basically, I found it yesterday in like 10 seconds. What the deal is today. The joys of live and not saving your work. So here we are. This is an example. Let me zoom in on this, see if I can read some of the data at the top. This is static. This is not moving. It's not, let's see what the date says at the very top. It's not getting any deeper than that. So that being said, normally the Schumann resonance is below 10. And in the past, in like the 1950s, you never saw anything above the 40 mark. And the last couple days, last couple weeks, we've seen things spiking over 100. And I'm sorry, I'm like, it's like I'm having a conniption here on live right now. And as man plans and God laughs. How about that? So let's turn this back on. I think I'm about up because I said I was going to be about an hour, and you know what? My plans are not coming together on this front. Let's check this one. All right, let's put this up. So this little definition here. All right, what it says, this is Wikipedia. Oh no, this is Disclosure News. The Schumann resonance chart displays data from the magnetic field detector to monitor the resonance occurring in the plasma waves constantly circling the Earth in the ionosphere. Now, the ionosphere is a layer of the Earth, the field of energy around the Earth. So let's, but anyway, if you saw this, what I just showed, oh, that's not it. Oh my goodness. It labeled it as 1 to 40 hertz. 1 to 40. All right, it's been spiking over 100 repeatedly the last couple weeks. And so what my whole point about this live today was supposed to be was to demonstrate a little bit about how you are an electromagnetic being, how there's electric changes happening in the cosmic pattern that affects the Earth's weather, and therefore affecting us. And it's not just rain and sun and all that. It's affecting us on our thinking patterns, on our habit patterns, and our behavior patterns. Now, that all being said, we're also, there's a thing called sociology, which is the formation of belief patterns of a whole entire society. And I'm just going to say it right now. Watch the documentary, The Minds of Men. It's PG, I believe, but it's like scary AF. Here you go. There's a little fun for you. Watch this one. And then we're going to get to the real message here. The title of this is...
Back in August 2013, I put up a report on a national anthem sign-off that had subliminal messages in it that looked like the inspiration for the 1980s John Carpenter movie They Live. Take a look.
Our national anthem.
Did you see the letters change at the bottom? Let's watch it again in even slower frame by frame motion.
You gotta go watch that for yourself. That's called Truth Stream Media. They got tons of documentaries, tons of videos, tons of reviews of declassified information. Oh my goodness! By all means, dive into that channel. But that's not what I was going to show you today. That's not what I was going to show you today. Schumann resonance. It's all about Schumann resonance, and they tell you it only goes to 100, to 1 to 40. All right, and this is not what I want to see, but look, this is April 20th right here. This article, this one, April 23rd, 2020. All right. And you can see it says 138.95. Let's take a look at this website. Again, this hasn't been working out great, but it's going, we're going through it. Okay, this is better. We have, let's get rid of that thing, that no thanks. All right. So this is better. I'm still hoping to zoom in some more. Let's see. Perfect. Yes. All right, we're in business. Oh my goodness. So here it says the 25th of April, 26th of April. Here's 40 right here at the bottom of the graph. Let's see if I can get it over there. Can you see that now? Let me shrink the window. Right there. Okay. It says 40 is 0 right here, 40 right here. So what we're looking for typically is fluctuations in this area, right? The 0 to 20, 0 to 30 if it's getting strong. But here, look at this. We have the 0 to 30, and then boom, look how strong this line is. Boom. And it's calculated as, let's see if we can get an actual exact number on it. It's hard to extrapolate from this at this point. But I know that day it got to 138. And the other one was 98 or something like that, 95. And again, we see these nice spikes that are happening, and it's just been going on all week. And I even had a patient come in today that, and I don't know about you, but you guys on Thursday, it was an interesting but strong energy, a lot of ramminess, so to speak, if I can say it that way. But the Earth is changing. We are going through this pattern. And how is the Earth changing? I talked about what causes weather changes. It's shifting cosmos. And so we're going to end with this, the shifting cosmos. I'm going to just call out this next channel in a positive way. The channel is known as the Suspicious Observer. And he has a daily report of what's happening in the cosmos. And this guy's super intelligent. And I'm not going to show this video by any means. I'm not going to show that one. And I'm just going to go to this guy's channel because you got to dive in for yourself. If you want to learn this knowledge about what's happening to our planet, what's actually going on, and the nature of this whole scenario, this whole show that we're seeing. Let's get rid of this. Oh my goodness. This is the channel, and you want to understand. This is a very grounded channel. If someone is a very logical thinker, this is one of the gentlemen to go to understand this, what's happening cosmologically affecting the planet Earth, affecting human consciousness, human behavior, human reality. And then there's this whole conversation of, well, how we've been led to believe things, our concepts and precepts. And how do we get out of the mind? How do we get out of this component? Well, it's the heart. It's the heart. And, this whole website, I was trying to get to access the Heart Math Institute. They are, and they're not the only ones, but these are people that are putting out the actual science and data about what's called coherence. And this is about realizing that when we look at how to balance our stresses, our social fulfillment, our hope and optimism, and there's a way to do it, and it's through the heart math techniques. Now, you can do this in your own home right now. It's like a meditation. It's simple things. Well, you know what? In fact, go down to the resources section. I'll tell you what to get. You want to get the stress solutions, and they have equipment you can buy, of course. Go to the Heart Math tools, and you want to look at this quick coherence technique right here. It's super easy. And there's people on YouTube that are doing things for free with that. Look up this quick coherence technique. This is something you want to get into. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's been a choppy one, and a little more proof in the pudding for me that I was a producer, studio setup guy, a person to help me manage people contacting me and email and calling me. And half the challenge of me getting on live and doing a first-class show is helping answer questions for people and doing the work that I do and helping people's bodies and immune systems and nervous systems function optimal and answer nutrition questions and all that and help people with detoxification. It's the work that is worth it. And you, if I could say anything, you're the one that needs to take charge of that. Self-nourishment, self-love, self-care, self-value, self-worth, and the day-to-day work of doing that. It doesn't become work. It becomes a joyful experience that you get to nourish yourself. And my last offer is this. It's called the 4 Foundations. Let's see, I turn another text off. Yeah, I'll switch it for you. And so that's on Facebook. Just type in Facebook 4 Foundations, Dr. Kevin, something like that. On any search engine, you'll get to it. Get on board. This is where I teach people daily nourishment. This is where I forget what the data of all the weirdness and craziness and wonderfulness going on out there, and you actually focus on what is the most important thing. It's bigger than just life, just your life right now, though that's part of the most important thing, and that's through connecting to the heart, connecting through this love, understanding, learning to drop the fears, the worries, the doubts that are going on. We are in this time of a tremendous transformation, and I'm beginning to weave a message that's coherent and digestible. If I could say one thing is connect to that love vibration. There's this wonderful, let's pull it up. I got one more for you. One more for you. Here it is. Let's pull up Go Love 20. Let's type that in. Type in Go Love 20 right here in your search box. You get this Dr. Joe Dispenza. Okay? Spread the love. And it's a meditation he has put out there for free. It's not for free.
What I'm about to show you.
This is about, that's the commercial. I can't show that, so pardon me for a second. Let me get past this. So he's putting it out there because it's helping him too. The rising tide principle, the Maharishi effect, the 100 monkey effect. It's like when someone in a crowd, the mob mentality, when someone has fear, all of a sudden everybody else is feeling it and sensing it. When someone's excited, everyone's feeling it and sensing it. This happens in the animal kingdom. It happens we are part of the animal kingdom. So Dr. Joe puts out this wonderful meditation. It's a little unique, but what it does is it grounds you into the experience. And so I'm not going to play the volume of it. I'm just going to show you the beginning of it. Go Love 2020. That's the name of it that you got to know. It's Dr. Joe Dispenza. You got to watch it. Spread the love bug. Go Love 2020. Type that in. There's different varieties of it right now. That connection. Now I'm not going to divulge anymore or go into it anymore. At this point, that's what you need to know. I apologize for the choppiness of today. I gotta tell you, I'm focused on other things, and I want to continue to put the message out there, continue to put good things out there, but I have to be mindful of my own life and in managing and helping people directly, hands-on. So hopefully you found this valuable. If you did, give me some thumbs up, give me some heart. Let other people connect to this. I'll be putting out more. Of course, we go live Tuesday nights, Transformation Tuesday. We talk about how to understand the subconscious language that is your mind. By the way, your life is guided by the 90% that your body that is operating automatically. That's Tuesdays. Wednesdays, we do the quantum remote healing. And then I'm going to be putting out some more quality videos with a more prepared and planned message. However, recognize that you have been more than you are told, and that what's happening out there is about deception. Wishing you the best, wishing you your intuition strong, your resilience strong, your ability to adapt be strong. Blessings, best regards. I'm Dr. Kevin. Thanks for tuning in.